It's going to be a wild ride on this episode, my friends. I hope you are seated with your seatbelts on in your tray and it's upright and stowed away position because I got Jose Montes and we're going to talk to him right about now. Okay, Jose Montes in the house, my friends. My goodness. My God. Look at this young man. Look at this young man. You will not believe the amount of business that this guy is cranking out. We're going to get talking about that right here, right now. One more cheer for Jose. Thank you for being here, Jose Montes. Jose Montes is with Big Block Real Estate, or is it Realty? Big Block?
Yeah. Big Block Realty, yeah.
Realty, Big Block Realty. He's in the Santa Barbara County area. The Central Coast is where he serves. He's only been in the business 6.5 years, right? So young man with not that much time in the business, but let me make sure you guys are sitting down for this. Okay, 2023, 120 transactions. Year to date, we are in June of 2024, 70 closed transactions. What is going on here? Jose, thanks for being here on Behind the Agent podcast. I just got to ask you, man, what in the world possessed you to get into real estate? What were you thinking?
Sure, that was all a very lovely intro, man, of the best I've experienced. But I'm just gonna dive into it. I really want to, share with your audience some tactical advice. But I wouldn't say I got possessed. I was more so inspired to get into real estate. For me, my career ultimately starts in high school, man. I started a landscaping business at a very young age. I was maybe 15, 16 years old. I'm a first generation Mexican American. So my parents immigrated here. I saw them, do all the traditional hard labor tasks that are out there. And I like to say I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but if I wanted to make money, all I had to do was copy what was creating money. And I saw my dad, landscaper, you mow some lawns, you get paid $20 for mowing someone's lawn. I'll do that. So 15, 16 years old, I borrowed his lawnmower, his weed whacker, and off I go, knocking on doors to land some gigs. And sure enough, we were picking gigs up. One of those gigs was my life partner, now fiance Vanessa. Her mother saw me mowing a lawn and said, "Hey, come over to the house, do some work around the house." And I did it as an opportunity to hang out with Vanessa and also make some money. But her dad, who owns a construction company, showed up home early. And I'm up front, picking some weeds, moving some plants around. And he's like, "Dude, what the heck are you doing?" And I said, "I got hired to do some landscaping work, at the house." And he said, "Just stop. I'm going to give you a real job." That's what he said. And the real job was entering the construction world. So I went from landscaping to construction. I said, "Hey, Vanessa at the time lived in the country club. She had the guest house. She had the pool in her backyard, the really nice parcel, which I now personally have myself through the same hard work ethic. But the dad ultimately said, "Show up tomorrow at 5 a.m. It's summertime." I showed up with, my work boots, a lunch bag. Let's go do this. So I started doing construction. I graduated, still doing construction with him. And I figured if I do construction, I remember I said,
how old are you right now doing this?
I'm going to be 28.
No. During this time, when he's telling you to come into construction, you're showing up with boots. How old were you at that time?
I had to be 16 or 17 years old.
Okay, so you're still in high school.
Dude, I'm figuring it out.
Yeah, all right. Keep going. All right.
I'm figuring it out. So I end up doing a senior project in high school on construction management. And he ultimately opens my eyes to this new world of, hey, dude's not even actually showing up to the job sites. He's just landing contracts, collecting money, and he has us doing all the work. So I realized, okay, this is very hard labor. I'm going to fast forward. I'm still in construction. One day, I'm all busted up. There's a massive blister on my hand, and I'm trying to figure out if I still want to do this. And in that moment of trying to figure out, does Jose still want to do this? Two gentlemen arrive at the job site that I'm doing. One of the gentlemen is driving a Range Rover, brand new Range Rover. The other guy shows up in an Audi R8. Here I am at the time, I'm maybe 18, 19 years old. And I see these two gentlemen smelling amazing, looking amazing, driving beautiful cars. And I'm like, what the heck do these guys do? So I approached them and I said, what do you do for a living? And they said, hey, you're working at my job site. I'm a real estate investor. So then that was the third switch. Landscaping taught me how to make, $20 an hour. Construction taught me how to make a few extra bucks. The two guys showed up. Third time, driving the cars that I dreamed of one day having, looking how I would love to dress. And it was just eye-opening. Real estate investing, that has to be it. So a few days later, I hear an ad on the radio. Now I'm looking for this option. I hear a Rich Dad, Poor Dad radio ad, and I showed up to an event that Rich Dad, Poor Dad put together. And I guess from that point forward, the switch just was turned on. Jose, it's real estate that you have to be into it in order to achieve that lifestyle that you're visualizing. So I know that was long, but
it was great.
Really
Dude, that was great. That was great. Okay, so now you decide, okay, Jose, man, I think it's real estate. At that point, you go, okay, I'm going to figure out how to get my license. You get your license, and then you go to work for somebody, right? You hang your license, you go to work to hang your license. Did you already talk to the company before you had your license that you went to work with at first?
No.
You got licensed first?
I got licensed first because one of the lawns that I mowed, now I'm going to take you way back, 15, 16 years old. One of the lawns I was mowing was a real estate agent that was having me go to her listings and mow them because I was charging super cheap.
Interesting. Okay.
So I went to her and I said, hey, well, how do I buy a home is what I was really asking.
Yeah. You want to invest in real estate. Yeah.
Correct. At 15, 16 years old, I didn't really know much.
Yeah.
But I asked her and I started watching her a bit. Now got my license and I started interviewing all the agents in my community. Like, hey, I want to hang my license. I want to work. Mind you, I have like this insane work ethic because I'm showing up in the construction world. I had to commute an hour plus every day. So I'm waking up at 4:30, and physical labor versus, and I'm not saying our work isn't hard, but versus dialing, cold calling, messaging people,
right?
That was a walk in the park for me.
Yeah.
So that's really how we get into real estate. I hang my license first year.
Who'd you hang before? You haven't always been with Big Block, right? You were with, or have you?
Always been with Big Block.
Okay. All right. So you've always been with Big Block. Started there. You're there now. Awesome. That's fantastic. So, okay. All right. So far, this is like absolutely fascinating and inspiring so far. I mean, we could just, hang up and have a smoke right now. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm at right now. But let's move on, man. Okay. Let's just because I like to keep these moving fast, right? So people don't get bored, and they're not bored with you, trust me. But, okay. So here we are, you get into real estate. Already this year, you've done 70 transactions. Let me ask you this, two parts. Where I'm leading to is, where's the business coming from today? Like right now, where's it coming from? But before you tell me that, tell me, how did you get your first deal? Like where did somebody say, here's a bunch of names, start calling them? Or what did you do to start getting some business in the door as a new, very motivated, goal-oriented? Clearly you knew what you wanted. You knew where you were going. Seems like you've always had that going on in you, which is pretty cool. How did you get those first deals cooking? And then fast forward to today, where are these deals coming from now?
My first few deals in the very beginning, my broker or my team lead at the time, still a good friend, she gave me a list of names that she had purchased from like realtor.com. And she said, here's this list, just call them. I locked myself in a cubicle and I do like, hi, it's Jose. You know, I saw you had inquired on 123 Banana Street. You still thinking about buying a home, kind of thing. Um, and that is how I landed one of my first deals. The gentleman that I'm talking about right now, actually, I just ran into him 4 or 5 days ago. 6 years later at the grocery store, and I still said, "How are you, man?
Yeah.
How's everything been?" So it
Yeah.
was just a cold call. But additionally, I was leveraging social media to its fullest potential. So I was doing raffles, giveaways. Um, I'm there's Facebook now has groups in your city. So they'll have forums. What I was doing to build my brand is I was buying like $100 gift cards, and I would call them stash and dash. So I'd grab these gift cards and I'd stash them inside a little plastic bag, and I'd go hide them, and I'd create this event around it. Like, hey, Monday evening at 6 p.m., I'm going to be hiding $100. I'm going to give you clues. Go find it. And in return, if you get this $100, just keep me in mind when you hear of someone buying or selling real estate.
You
So
called
I
it
just
stash
create
and
these,
what?
I'd
Stash
call
and
it a stash and dash.
stash and dash.
Yes. So I just hide this thing, go find it. There's money when you find it. And my business cards are on it. Give a few out for me.
That is
So,
insane. And so you would post this in like Facebook groups, community groups,
yep,
basically. Would you
pretty
do it in the
much.
form of a video? Was it you? Hey man, this is Jose. This is the deal.
Yep.
I got $100 hidden. This is
Here it is.
here's some clues on how you can find it. All I ask is when you get it, you think of me if you know anybody that needs any real estate. My cards
That's
are in.
it. I was giving before I was taking. Additionally, and I still do this today, I was stacking all the activities I was doing. I was also door knocking, door. Nothing ever came from the door knocking for me. But years later, I'm gonna say years later, like I could maybe say I shed a tear when I went back to a neighborhood and I landed several of those listings that at one point I was door knocking. So
What made the difference? Why were you able to nail the listings? You door knock got nothing, but now you're getting listings there. What? How?
a brand, a brand, when people are referring you for having the work ethic, the drive, and the commitment, you show up and it's almost like you're interviewing them. Do I want to work with you?
Oh man, you're something, dude. You're
It's
something.
different. It's a
Okay, so
different aspect.
this is awesome. Today, June, May 2024, you've already closed 70 deals. If you were going to say this percentage of my deals comes from this percentage from this percentage from this, what would those things be?
Good question. So and I'm saying all this in a very humble way. So I don't want you to think like what I just said earlier, I'm interviewing them kind of thing. It really is, but I'm all about service. So I'm showing up to someone to see if I can truly give them value. And I would say 60% of my business right now is referral based.
Okay.
I did a quality job for my clients. I put their best interests at heart genuinely, and now they're referring their family, their friends, and their colleagues.
Mm.
So 60% is referral.
Yeah. And I want to say this too, Jose. I don't think anybody was getting that you were being, lofty or anything like that. What it made me feel like is you've established such a brand that they already know you, they already like you, they're already sold on you. You know what I mean? When you walk in, and so now you're just saying, okay, let's see what we can do together, kind of thing.
For
Would that be
sure.
pretty close to what it
That's
is?
pretty appropriate. And I was having a conversation with the gentleman earlier that I'm coaching, and I genuinely tell my prospects when I'm going over to meet them, it's going to be something very informal. I'm not showing up with a suit and tie. I really just want to get to know you and your goals. What's the objective?
Mm,
And let's see if I can serve you.
mm. Good stuff.
So so I'm not selling them on anything. Can I really help you based on the challenges that are in front of you? Can I help you transition? And if it's not me, I'm going to see if I can introduce you to someone that can really serve you.
Got you. Okay, so 60% you'd say is referral. Keep going. Where else is it coming
And if
from?
I went to break it down into 40, I still do open houses.
Oh, okay.
So this weekend, Friday and Saturday, I'm hosting an open house. Same house, okay? Friday and Saturday. And before my open house, I'm texting all the neighbors in the community. And instead of asking them, hey, Frank, are you interested in buying or selling a home? My approach is different. I say, hey, Frank, it's Jose Montes. Wanted to let you know that I'm working for our neighbor at 1360 Village Meadows. Would love to have you come by. Come take a look at what real estate is selling for in your neighborhood. And then if you have any questions, lean on me. That is my approach. So I get
Awesome.
new people to come out to open houses, and check this one out, man. This weekend held an open house. So I had the seller, found the buyer. The buyer now has to sell his house to buy the house that I'm listing. So out of one open house, I got 3 deals. Now I may find the buyer for him this weekend.
You never know.
Correct.
Did you get to do that open house?
Correct. So open houses, they're still phenomenal. If you're a brand new agent, I wish I would have been sitting in more open houses, spending more time.
Let's go there now. So let's give us the
Mhm.
advice. Give us the advice. Jose, I'm an agent, and I'm the kind of agent. Maybe I'm doing 6 or 7 transactions a year, maybe 10. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But man, I look at wowza, 120 or 70 year to date. What advice do you have for me to get there?
You have to understand if it's something that you really want. What do you really want? Just because Jose is, making 7 figures as a real estate agent, do you really want that? Because there's trade-off. When I went from, my first year of doing 6 deals and I barely broke 100,000, I had a lot of extra time. I was able to spend more time with mom and dad, hang out, birthday parties, get-togethers, all that stuff, right? But the moment that I said, "Hey, I'm going in all in on my business," I'm spending more time here.
Mm,
This is it. Currently on 20 different escrows this month.
mm,
So as you can imagine, there's very little to no time for some of the things that you love to do.
yeah.
So my advice is before you before you really go all in, if you will, figure out what you want, what it is that you want, and why do you want it. Do you follow?
100%. Yeah.
Because if you get to 20 transactions a month, you might realize, hey, I don't really want this. What I
Yeah.
wanted was just an extra deal to be able to
Yeah.
go on a
Yeah.
vacation.
Yeah.
But you won't realize it until you experience it. So figure out what it is that you want, and then find someone that has what you want and get mentored by them.
Nice.
That is my advice.
Excellent advice, brother. Excellent advice. Look, this has been awesome. 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 Let's wrap it up with our final segment, which is the real side of real estate, you know, which is, even some agents might still look at the business if they're newer and look at it as kind of, well, everybody like you, they might look at you and go, wow, he's just got this really cool thing going. It's so glamorous and he's got all this stuff. But man, it gets down and dirty in real estate. There's some crazy stuff that happens. Share with us a story that where you were just kind of like, I can't even believe this is happening right now, and something we might be able to learn from.
I have 2 stories that come to mind. Story number 1, and I'm going to let you choose which one you want me to talk about.
Well, you're
Story
talking about them right now, so
so
you do it. You do them both if you want.
story number 1 happened about 24 months ago. I sold the house to an investor. There was let's call it, um, someone trespassing, staying inside the home. I don't want to offend
Sure.
anybody.
Right.
The house sold, and we had to give them the boot.
Okay.
Like, you don't have a lease here. There's nothing here. You're staying in this garage. The house closed. We got all their stuff out. I'm showing I'm showing now another property. I'm with clients and my phone's blowing up. It's just ringing, ringing, ringing. I'm just, call me later kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It just doesn't stop. So I find a way to step out and I'm like,
What's
what's
up?
going on?
Yeah.
And in that call, it was the fire department. The fire department says, Jose, you have to get over to 1200 Banana Street. This is what's going on. The house, um, the house was basically caught on fire. So there was a chemical trail, gas, fuels, just intentionally, he was attempting to burn it down. Fortunately, fortunately, the neighbors were in their yard when they started smelling that something was burning. Neighbors ran over to the yard, started doing dirt, putting the fire out. Fire department got called out, police department got called out. And here I am, like, what the heck do I do? My clients just bought this.
Did it
They're
just
calling me.
close? Did it just close?
It had just closed. Just closed. Not a day later, same day.
Wow.
They're burning this house down. Very little damage was done. Fortunately, they had home insurance and it kicked in. So
Arson.
that happened.
It was an arson attempt.
Arson.
The day it
Exactly.
closed from the person
day
that was
closed.
squatting basically in
Yep.
the house.
Yep. I've had that happen. And then something that is more common to happen is, and this was maybe 6 months ago, I represented a buyer, and the day his home closed, the seller was not leaving. The seller decided to stay in the property. And the excuse he came up with was the most bizarre thing ever. He said, my kitten at the time, it's still a kitten, was having babies. So my kitten is having babies. I'm not taking it to the vet. The babies have to arrive. Once this is all handled, I'll give you the keys. So the dude had already been paid out. He wasn't giving us the keys because his kitten was having babies and we couldn't get into the home. This continued for about 60 days. What? 60 days. Police department was called. Everyone you could imagine to call was called and involved. And this guy stayed in the house for another 60 days before vacating. And many people are probably wondering, well, what happened to your final walkthrough, your verification of property? We did our final walkthrough a few days before. He was allegedly going to bring a moving company to, pick everything up
out. Yeah.
We were trusting. We said, this is going to happen. And it never did. So here I am. First, I have a buyer, can't move him into his house. He has mortgages. This guy's just now staying in his property because he understands the game. It was a civil matter. Police couldn't do anything. If we tried to evict him, it was going to be a process. So that really happened.
Brutal.
Yep.
Brutal.
So,
wow.
And I'm sure there's a handful of other.
I'm sure, man. I'm sure.
But those are the two that just stick with me.
And I'd say lessons learned from that, just formulate your own. I mean, I don't know what you could have possibly have done. In either situation, there's really nothing you could do, that you can't stop those things from happening, can't control it. There's no signs that was going to happen. You know what I mean? It just happens. That's just real estate.
Things happen. And I think if I could give a little bit of advice there, don't be afraid to make the call when things aren't going as planned.
Yeah.
You have that call that you need to make, and your buyer is going to be extremely upset, and it's not an easy call.
Yeah.
Pick up the phone and dial the moment that you feel like it's time to do so.
Yeah.
You feel like it's time, dial, catch them up to speed.
Yeah. Wow. What a trip, man. That is a weird one, brother. All right. Hey, Jose, listen, you told me before we got started, I asked, hey, you looking to build a team? Or are you just looking maybe to get some referrals? And you said something very interesting to me, because here you are, you're cranking, 70 deals this year, 120 last year. You're looking for another Jose, you said. Mm-hmm. Tell us who you're looking for.
I'm looking for guy or gal or anything in between that is driven, has a really good work ethic, and more importantly, a good heart. So if you're driven, self-motivated, you have the work ethic, you have a good heart, you're going to do what's right even when I'm not looking or anyone else is looking, I can show you how to produce, and I could do it like this. So there is a set of strategies and day-to-day activities that you can be doing that's going to return or turn into deals. And I'm looking for the person that really wants it. And again, they have to want it to be able to apply the strategies that I'm able to provide, because it is very boring, it is very mundane, repetitive, and it almost feels like it's not working until it does.
I love it. So the best way for them to reach you, they can get you on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
which is Jose Montes, which is MONTES_RE,
That's
right?
me.
On Instagram, Jose Montes_RE. Or they could just give you a call. They could give you a buzz at 805-717-2160. Is that right? Okay.
Yep.
And we'll put all that information down below for you guys. So you can just access that information there. Wow. Jose Montes, thank you so much for being on Behind the Agent. We'd like to see what's going on behind the agent, and that's what you did, man. This has been great. Wonderful. Congratulations on all of your success. And
Love it, man. Thank you.
very inspirational, man. What a great thing. I imagine you got work to do.
It's time. It's
You
time.
got work to do, so I'm going to let you go. Don't go away. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody, and then I just want to chat with you real just for one more minute. I know you're busy, but we'll go ahead and get on out of here. So thanks for joining us on Behind the Agent, everybody. Do us a favor if you have other agents that might gain something from this by watching and listening to Jose. Do us a favor, just forward share. Right. If you're meeting us for the first time, go ahead and subscribe. There should be a subscribe button somewhere for you. Subscribe, and we'll stay in touch with you from this point on. So thank you very much for tuning in. And Jose, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. So until
See you
next
guys.
time, we'll see you later.